welcome to another episode of What We Do Best: Global Culture, Global Communication, and Global Language and Leadership. Our hope is to get you closer to different cultures you may not be familiar with, their way of life, their thought process, and behavior. I hope you can develop the ability to absorb, the ability to reflect, the ability to appreciate and ask questions, and also the ability to share what we cover on these episodes and tell others so that they can understand and also can appreciate. The results are always amazing, on not only on a personal level, but it will be good to create that environment of collaboration, peace, understanding, and coming together as one human family. Today, I want to share an experience I had yesterday. It was so much fun. I presented to a group of immigration attorneys, and I really had a great time. It was not a large group. It was about 16 of them. Most of them were male, and the focus was on Asian cultures and communication styles. I covered a few countries, but the focus was on China. I dedicated much of the presentation to Chinese communication and negotiation styles. As you know, immigration attorneys work with people trying to immigrate to the United States, and for them to deliver better service, for them to understand, for them to retain the client, they do have to understand their thought process and how do they do business. So it was quite interesting, and I had shown a short video about the iron crutch, the Kung Fu master. I'm not sure whether you've seen it before, but if you haven't, I really, really recommend to check it out. It demonstrates ball breaking stamina. It can be hilarious. It can be scary. It can be all things, but check it out and make your own opinion. It is an old practice that is not only popular among Kung Fu masters, but also among monks. Why is so important to understand that practice? I mean, everyone sees things differently, and by looking at that practice, one can immediately develop or start to understand something about the Chinese culture. So if you're about to do business with a Chinese person, know that you're dealing with resilience, you're dealing with stamina, you're dealing with toughness, you're dealing with endurance. Therefore, you have to have patience, and you have to detangle all these aspects of these cultural traits or nuances for you to be able to do business, and a lot of it. We're talking about over 1 billion people. That's a lot of opportunities. And if you are following the Chinese economy, there has been unbelievable number of Chinese millionaires and Chinese wealthy families. So again, check it out. I did ask some Chinese people about this practice at one point. Some of them appreciate it and they have high regards to it. Some other Chinese don't like it and They expressed that it was embarrassing for them, and they wish they abolished this practice as they deemed it violent. Regardless of what they say, it's always good to find out about how others do things, see things, and form opinions about things. Going back to the American, and I laugh because I still remember to the American attorneys, the remarks were hilarious when they saw that. There was one that says, "Is this how they handle birth control in China?" It's just something different for Americans. They're not used to it. And I did show it to help introduce the subject of how you should negotiate with Chinese people. One thing come to mind, that when we're talking about Chinese, and several Asian countries, doing business in that part of the world or with someone from that part of the world, remember this saying: lure the tiger down the mountain. Now, who is the tiger? The tiger is you. What is the mountain? It's your comfort zone. Because doing business with Chinese people, you're always being lured out of your comfort zone if you're not familiar with it. And that's why you will hear a lot of people, especially here in the United States, confessing to you that it's so difficult to do business with them. They're not able to close business. They're not able to approach Chinese people. They're not able to successfully deliver results. It does not mean that Chinese people are difficult. Not at all. They're just like anyone else in this world. If you don't understand, you will automatically fail to deliver. So I will tell you, sit tight, understand, ask questions, and be extremely patient. So, today's topic or tips that I will share with you today, not all of them, some of them that will give you some type of clues to get you through if you have or you're doing business with a Chinese person. Their culture and etiquette is that of vertical hierarchy culture. Okay? Because it's so large, because China is so large and they have over 1 billion people, they will automatically hide their feelings. What do I mean by that? They are not that upfront because they are afraid of being cheated. Do you know how many scams do they receive a day? We're talking about a massive amount of scams, number of scams by phone, by text, when they go and purchase something, email. I mean, everywhere someone is trying to scam them. So because of that, they have developed that mentality that they've got to be careful all the time, and they will not tell you what they're thinking just because of what's happening in their country. They don't trust others easily. They don't show their true intent, and you have to understand why. They cannot bring themselves to say no either. They will, if when they deal with you, you can be talking and talking and talking, and they will be nodding. You will not understand whether they're telling you yes or no. Why they cannot say no, or it's hard for them to say no? Remember, they're coming from vertical culture. They have a fear of confrontation. They don't feel good rejecting others. No does not necessarily mean no. They do love to negotiate. They don't call it, we call it negotiate, but in there they call it bargain. So what do you do in this case then? You're telling me, well, okay, Mona, you're telling me yes is yes, is no, no is yes. How do I know this? If I am talking to a Chinese person, well, my advice to you, and I had it on a short video, is you have to pay attention to the facial expressions. Are they engaging with you? You always have to pay attention to that. Are they leaning forward, backwards? All these clues that we had mentioned before, you've got to pay attention to them. They do tend to think many layers deep, especially with major purchases. I mean, I've done a lot of business with Chinese people, and I can tell you right now, if you don't address all the concerns and you disclose everything you're talking about, everything in housing, for example, when they're investing in here, we have to discuss taxes, we have to discuss wills, we have to discuss trusts, we have to discuss pretty much everything, because they are not so much interested in the purchase or right then moment like we do. They're more of a long-term thinkers. They need security, and you will receive a lot of questions over and over. And if you don't address them at first, you will lose them. Okay? They don't like to ask a lot of questions, and I tell you why. I find that out, that they fear being judged, and they don't like to be looked at as dumb. So you may not see them or find them asking questions like we do in here. I would definitely advise you to ask them, repeat what you told them, give them a lot of compliments. Okay? If they are investing their time, more likely they are interested in what you have to offer, but don't want to straight out tell you. There is a difference in there, like anywhere else in the world. I mean, here in the United States of America, if I am talking about how to do business with Americans, if I don't address the outcome or the impact of the Civil War on the American cultures, then I will be missing out on so many aspects of how to negotiate with Americans. What's the mentality? What's the norm? Same thing with China. It's a large country with over 1 billion people, and there are several regions that will be the opposite of the other. Overall, when we are talking about culture, we are generalizing. However, when I'm giving training, I go deeper than that. And of course, you are going to have parts in China that are not so much pro-government, while others are pro-government. For example, some are more conservative, others are less. Just like any other country in the world. And you have to be mindful of that and understand, number one, the culture, and ask question, what part of China are they coming from? Okay, that will give you a clue. And then of course, if you are in business, personality profile can help you a great deal. So we will stop here for today. I hope that you found this the tips that I shared with you, found them helpful. And if you have any question, please feel free to reach out. Again, go out and connect with someone that is not from your culture. Go out and make connection with different people that don't look like you, and be curious, ask question, and be respectful. And I am certain that you will not regret your move. Take care. Have fun. Until next time, stay safe. Bye-bye.